Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back, Jamie here today, and we're going to talk about Leatherface, which is a prequel to Texas Chainsaw 3D and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was released in 2017. I gotta say straight up, man, this is the worst of the franchise for me, no doubt. Second prequel inside the franchise, and it's answering questions I wasn't really asking. Like, I didn't need to know Bubba's backstory about how he became part of the Sawyers or whatever. And just this whole film, it feels like it was one film, and at the end they thought, oh, let's make it into a Leatherface film, and they changed a few things around. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. It begins on the Sawyer farm in the early 1900s, I guess, with young Jed's birthday party. They've got someone tied up there as well. We've got the mum Werner as well, who's, younger than the last film. Got young Drayton there in the hitchhiker, and also Grandpa, I'm guessing. There's an old guy there as well. See, I'd be more interested in seeing like how Grandpa, they said Grandpa was the best killer and all this, and he never misses. I'd be more interested to see more of the actual family, but we didn't get that. This opening is probably the best part of the film. The opening and the end are the best parts, really. Of course, Jed can't do the job, so Grandpa finishes it and he hits him over the head with a hammer, and they're all disappointed in Jed because he wouldn't use the chainsaw. And it's basically like his birthday present. He just given the chainsaw no reason why. At least inside, the beginning, he worked at the meat factory or whatever, and that's how he got the chainsaw. His mum just comes out and gives it him. So it's like, okay, cool. From there, we cut to 1955, and there's a couple inside a car, a guy and a girl, and they pull over when they see like a pig on the road. But it's really a kid wearing a pig's like mask. Well, it's not even a mask, it's a head, really, innit? And he leads her to like some little cabin inside the woods or whatever. So she follows him to the barn, and there's a trap there, and Drayton's waiting. And this is supposed to be Drayton from the original. He looks more like Matthew McConaughey, and he sounds like Matthew McConaughey as well. So I don't know what's going on with his casting. Like in the last one in 3D, Bill Moseley looked just like Drayton, he really did. This guy, Matthew McConaughey all the way. But yeah, they end up killing the girl, like dropping his trap on her. And then the sheriff / cop arrives looking, because that's his daughter. He's looking for her and for revenge. And he's had his run-ins with the Sawyers, or I guess the Carlsons, whatever you want to call them. This cop's also related to the mayor in 3D. I think it's his dad or something like that. I had to look this up because the film does not really explain that much. From there, Werner shows up and she's like, oh, let Jed out the car now. And this is a good line. He goes, you take one of mine, I'll take all of yours. That's a pretty decent line. I do like that. They take Jed away from her and put him into like foster care or something like that. We cut to 10 years later inside like this asylum / rehoming system. Get introduced to the characters. We've got a big guy who's called Bud, who, first impression, you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely Leatherface, no doubt. And then you've got his mate, a normal looking guy called Jackson. I'm just going to say straight up now, this twist is so stupid. Throughout the whole film, they build up Bud being Leatherface. And then he dies and it's really Jackson, the guy who seems normal, who has a crush on a nurse, who's always talking. That's Bubba, apparently. Like, it's just stupid. They just did the twist just for the sake of the twist, but we'll get to that later. We've also got like a couple of crazy bald guy and a crazy girl. And like the girl shoves mice into women's mouth, and it's just like, the typical crazy blah blah blah. These characters just meh. They focus on Bud's backstory and like making it all like brutal and stuff. They just, like I said throughout this film, they frame him to be Bubba, and then at the very last second they pull the rug out and it's like, nope. It's just a twist for the sake of a twist. Werner arrives at the asylum and she wants to see Jed. And we'd learn that like she's married him well for something. She's got like a lawyer and stuff like that. And she uses the bathroom and then she knocks out a nurse, and she basically just starts like a whole lockdown inside the place, really. Patients start going crazy, and then Bud like beats up 2 guards, and then he kills the main doctor by like smashing his head through a window. So again, like I said, it's just this film. We'll get to it. The crazy guy and girl reunite, and they literally just start fucking inside the hallway. Like, they can't control themselves. And then they go outside and they take Jackson and the nurse as hostages, and it's like, what? Why do you need hostages? No one even know. Well, I guess they know that you've escaped, but like, there's no police after you right now. Like, the whole thing's just stupid. And they pick up Bud because Bud helped him escape or something like that, and Bud just willingly goes along with him. I gotta say, like, this bald guy, he's supposed to be like intimidating and stuff. He's like threatening him. He's like, oh, if you go, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, Bud, first of all, could outpower all these guys and girls, but he obviously don't want to. And second, he's just not intimidating, he's just try hard. It's literally try hard crazy, that's what it comes across as. So from there, they go to like a barbecue restaurant, and they just start killing everyone inside the restaurant, man, like brutally. And it just feels like a Wish version of Devil's Rejects, and we'll get into that later on. It really does just feel like a Wish version of Devil's Rejects, man. Which I guess we came full circle, right? Because the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Rob Zombie was inspired by that with House of Thousand Corpses. And now they're inspired by Rob Zombie, it seems. So it all came full circle in a way. Skipping ahead a bit, Bud gets shot through the stomach, like on the way out. And then the cops still chasing him, you know, from before. And basically that's all this film pretty much is. It's like they do something and they leave, and then the cop comes and investigates what happened, and it's just same thing over and over again. They find a trailer with dead bodies in there, and the crazy couple fuck on it, and it's like, you know, cool, okay, I guess. You're just trying to, you know, freak us out or whatever, gross us out, but it's just... I don't know about this film, man. I really don't. The nurse tries to escape, and the bald dude, this is Bud, so Bud like snaps, and he drags him across the field into the woods, and he just stomps his head on some wood. And then he falls asleep on the body, and the next day they find him out there just sleeping on this guy's body. It's like, okay, cool. The cops arrive, and they pistol whip the girl, the crazy one. And then he shoots her inside the leg as she's running away. And like I said, this is literally, it's just Devil's Rejects repeated. This is Sheriff Wydell trying to go after the Firefly family, and she's pretty much baby at the end. It's like a scene, it's like a shot-for-shot remake in a way, if you think about it. And then of course he kills her when she mentions her daughter. Oh, you didn't save your daughter or whatever, and he just shoots her, and the rest of them are like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, well, you know, in a way he's right. They are murderers. They just pretty much killed everyone in cold blood inside that restaurant. So, you know, you gotta put them down in a way, but still. So we got 3 characters left. We got the nurse, we got Bud and Jackson. The police and dogs start coming, so they hide inside like a dead animal corpse, which is not bad, you know, gets them covered in blood as well. So it's a good visual in a way. And then just start like just roaming about like zombies. They're all just like out of energy, just, you know, roaming about. The nurse screams for help when she sees a patrol car. And then Bud just approaches it, getting shot multiple times, gets the guy on the floor. Jackson starts screaming. The guy pulls up his gun and he shoots Bud straight through the head. So there you go. You thought this guy was Leatherface, he gets shot straight through the head. So there, it's the twist for a twist. Jackson's Bubba, and he starts, you know, going crazy. He fucking gets the guy's head, starts smashing it through the door. And it's just like I said before, it's just a twist for the sake of a twist. Like literally, you should have just kept it as Bud and nothing would be changed. It's like, oh, when you first watch it, you're like, oh shit, I'm shocked, I wasn't expecting that. But then it just wears off and you're like, well, this don't make any sense, because clearly this guy's like, he's pretty much all there. He seems like the most normal out of the whole group. And you're telling me he becomes Bubba in a few years. Don't make any sense, man. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So they're inside the car and the cop's chasing and he's shooting, and one of the shots goes through Jackson's cheek, and it, like, you know, that's basically the origin story of why he wears a mask. And it's just like, I think it was like, oh, we didn't want to make him deformed or anything. Like, I think deformed works more than just getting shot through the face. It gives him more reason to be angry, I guess. But, you know, the car crashes and then the cop ties up Jackson, and he explains to the girl, like, oh, isn't Jackson, this is really Jedediah, blah, 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 in case we didn't already know that. Bernard's told the location by another cop before before the rest of them kill him, and then he just feed the cop to the dogs. So I guess she's got like a connection inside the police force, and that's how they've not been caught. When she arrives there, the cop's like, oh, here's your auntie or your mum or both. So, I mean, I always thought it was the mum, but he's saying it's the auntie, so I don't know. I don't know with his family anymore, I really don't. And then they all start coming out of the shadows, and one of them, why the fuck is one of them wearing Tiny's mask from Devil's Rejects? We've never seen the Sawyers wear masks apart from Leatherface. Why is this guy literally just he looks like Tiny? He really does. Again, Devil's Rejects, man, what is going on inside this film? Finale takes place at the Sawyer's house. Bernard sews Jed's face because, you know, he got shot, and then she puts the leather mask on to try and keep it in place, and there's your origin story about the mask. Wow, great, amazing. The nurse unties the cop after he apologizes, and then they both try getting out. But Jed comes from the basement with the chainsaw, and he just cuts through the cop, like, all the way through his chest, which is a good kill. It is a decent kill. I'll give this film credit. It seems like more of it's practical, and, you know, 3D was just full of the CGI blood, but I could be wrong. It seems more practical though. The nurse runs out the house like they always do at the Sawyer house, and they chase her until eventually gets caught by a bear trap, and she's trying to like reason with Jackson, saying like, oh, this isn't you, and he just cuts the red clean off. It just seems like, because Vern is there like trying to encourage him, it seems more like this is Jason than Bubba. Like he's doing shit what his mum tells him to do and all that. But yeah, he cuts the red off, and then the film ends with him making a mask, and he smashes the mirror, and then that's it. So yeah, Leatherface, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10, and that's being generous. This is the worst of the franchise, no doubt. I'm never watching this film again. The opening's not bad, and it just falls completely down a hill. It was a twist just for the sake of a twist. Feels like a rip-off of Devil's Rejects. It's just, there's nothing good going for it. Like, you should have focused more on the family. I want to know about Grandpa and stuff like that. I don't want to know about how Bubba was just normal guy who could speak. He had a crush on a nurse. Just because he got shot through the face and his friend died, he becomes a lunatic. It's stupid. It really is. So yeah, that's my rating and review for Leatherface. That's all the film's done. Next week, we're going to be ranking the series from worst to best. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Until next time, peace out in a bit.